And we are live. We are live. We are live. We are live at 19 minutes away from 11 o'clock. Good morning. Good morning to you and yours, and welcome to it, man. We call this Clinical Monday for our Pop Chats. My name is Nkosi. Thank you so much for making time this morning to be with us as we kickstart your week in a. Oh, the producer's gonna fight me, Mr. Producer. I forgot the tagline. Can you ring tagline arena? Live, I forgot the tagline. How dare I? But we are kicking off the week, your healthy week in a positive way. I'll just say that. Welcome to today, as it is like the first week. I'm joined by Mapaseka, Mabena to help us dissect all things sexual reproductive health and STI. That's where the focus is at. As we know that February is the condom and STI week is coming up. Somewhere in there, also sexual and reproductive health is somewhere in there to help us, have that conversation. We'll be featuring different kinds of clinicians throughout the month. And we have segregated the STIs from curable to non-curable to give you the 411. And we're just going to make this conversation very interesting. To be part of the conversation, make sure that you drop your comment on the comment section below on Facebook or on Pop-In. And also on YouTube channel, it is at @orampopin. And on Twitter, it is at @n_health with the hashtag Clinical Monday. Check myself, it is at Nkosi. And we'll take you through your comments as we go on during the conversation. Joining me, like I said, from Orampopin, Eguruleni. It is Sister Mapaseka, Mabena. Sister Mapaseka, thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad that you are here. You know that you are. And please, man, I hope that the network today is going to behave because how are you?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, V. I also missed you guys.
Yeah. And I see you have upgraded these days. You have a ring light, eh?
Yeah,
ring light. All right, let's just jump straight into it. I want us to focus on sexual reproduction, reproductive health, or sexual reproduction health. I don't know which one is more suitable for as a term, but as age. In just terms, what is that? But I also want us to dive into STIs and condoms during this conversation. But in general, if you were to describe sexual reproductive health, what is it? How would you describe it?
Right. So sexual reproductive health basically refers to your physical, emotional, and social well-being. It does not only to say it refers to you having a disease or being unhealthy, whatever. So it shows for it there's a correlation, this a connection, when you are emotionally and physically and your social well-being is very important in your sexual well-being. Yes, that's what I can say. Just for someone.
Yeah. All right. And let's touch on, I think when you so it is all that, and it means that all that needs to be sort of like in balance or healthy, right? And when we talk about sexual health, in my head, the first thing that pops in is sexual transmitted infections. Let's touch on some of the common can I say sexual unhealthy or unhealthy sexual things like STIs, for instance. What are some of those common STIs that we have generally that you deal with? And let's focus it on transgender and men who have sex with men and say which are the more common STIs that infect men who have sex with men and transgender women.
Thank you very much, V. So the most common STIs that we have found is oral hop-in amongst our MSM and transgender women, where your chlamydia, syphilis, trichomoniasis, human papilloma virus, as well as your hepatitis B. So those are the main common STIs that you would find amongst this population. But the one that is almost every time outstanding, it will be your chlamydia and your syphilis. Those are the ones we find them coming in every now and then.
I got you. And I guess then there would be more common also when we look at the general population. But in terms of symptoms, are symptoms perhaps maybe different in presenting when somebody is infected, especially if you are part of the, or if you are an MSM or if you are a transgender woman? Would the symptoms be the same? Perhaps maybe let's start there. And, at what stage, or do you get tested if you are suspecting that you have an STI? Do you start immediately when you suspect, or even now, as maybe perhaps don't have the symptoms, I can just go and get tested?
Right. So with the STI, it's a very tricky one because the signs and symptoms are not the same, and sometimes the client will be asymptomatic, and you are you see yourself, you're healthy, you don't have any signs and symptoms, you don't see the need to go and consult because you don't have those signs and symptoms that tell you to go and consult. However, we have clients that come in and present with the signs and symptoms. And what I can tell you that most of the time the signs and symptoms are almost the same, especially with the client gonorrhea, because it affects it causes the inflammation of the urethra. The urethra is the tube that we use passage for the urine. So the most sign would be as soon as you have that inflammation in your urethra, then that is when now you find the person would say, I have a discharge.
Okay.
Between
Looks
these
like we
two
lost
types
this.
of
I hope it's not loading. Are we in?
with a
Because
can you hear me?
our broadcast the voices are Mapaseka.
All right, I will continue for the sake of time. So we have gonorrhea and um, chlamydia. So there are two different types of, they present with two types of discharges. So gonorrhea, most of the time, you'd find that the client will come in with a thick discharge coming from the urethra, compared to a client with the chlamydia. So I have an image here that shows the type of discharge that a client with chlamydia would present with. So you see, this is a watery discharge. It's white in color. Sometimes you find it might be yellow. It might be green as well. So those are the types of signs and symptoms that you come across. However, with syphilis, I also have an image for syphilis. So syphilis, it might be a painful sore, you see, which you find on your genital area. It can be anywhere in your body, it can be inside your mouth, and sometimes you'll find it most common in your lower lip. So most of the time, people would say, no, I'm having a flu sore. So we need to be able to differentiate the two, because there is a syphilis sores that you find, and when you touch them or press them, they are painless, and we also find them in your penis as well. And then we also have the herpes papillomavirus symptoms as well, where we find also it's a painless sore that you can find in your genital area as well. So human papilloma virus, it's a virus. So most of the time it goes away on itself, and it depends on the immune system of an individual. But however, if it does not go away, that is when now you start to see these what's coming out, and then you treat the client. So the treatment is a bit tricky because with the virus, you hardly find the treatment. For us is just to control the infection, the virus, and ensure that the client is stable. So when to get tested, so that is a very important factor because it's very important. As soon as you have those signs and symptoms, as soon as you have that abnormal discharge coming out, you should come to the clinic and consult. As soon as you feel that, whenever, because what we normally come across, or you find clients saying, I'm having pain whenever I ejaculate, mouth karma during sex. Come through. That is not normal. Mouth karma it should be enjoyable. Pain. As soon as you feel pain, then come through. Why you saying? Yeah. So anything that is abnormal, don't take it lightly. Don't say maybe I'll be bothering the clinician. You see that this thing was not here. I didn't have a sore. My penis was smooth. It didn't have anything. So then come. Let us come through and then let us assess you and give you treatment.
Yeah. So that must be my connection just went off there, but I saw that you were carrying away and you were showing us images. And I think visually we then get to have an idea of what you are talking about when you specifically touch on those specific STIs. And quite interestingly, some people don't think it could be an STI. And I want us to touch also on that, which is somebody would say, or I have an ingrown from shaving my pubic. Should it be a point of consent that sometimes I might take it as an ingrown, sometimes I might just take it as a love pimple, or not a love pimple, but whatever pimple on my lips, or a sore throat, or some of these symptoms that you've touched on, to say no man, it can just go away. Or mpumitumba, I don't know what it's called. I think it's called a whatever in terminology, medical terminology, and equap, or around the pubic area, that should just be me saying I shouldn't. That's my body telling me that actually it could be either or. To be sure, I need to come in and see Mapaseka and say I have these symptoms, or I have these pimples on my body.
Yeah, right. I didn't get the last part of your question because of the background noise. I'm sorry about that. Let's move into So yeah, it's very important that you don't make your own conclusion. Rather go and consult, because you might be delaying. Because remember, the more you delay and stay with that infection, untreated infection, then you're causing more complications for yourself. So I would advise you that whatever that it is that is bothering you, come through. Let us differentiate and see and give you a proper treatment. But that does not mean whenever now we go around and you see a person with a sore on their lower lip and then you start saying it is an STI.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, it's quite interesting that you touch on that, because I think that's where everybody's going to go through, or go to saying, if I have a pimple on my lips, just because, like I said, it could be inside of an STI, STI. You just need to go and get tested. And there is sometimes a discomfort that people will say, yeah, it's because maybe my bladder is too full, or it's because I wore tight pants or tight underwear, and maybe that's why my genitalia is a bit uncomfortable, or maybe that's why my testicles are swollen. But without thinking that that is the body prompting you to go and investigate and say, you could potentially have something wrong, or you could potentially have an STI. How common are those? But then the underwear tight, or bengiphuza amanzi amaningi, or bengiphuza cold drink, kunje ukuchama mushiza, and those things. People usually say that.
Yeah. Before I respond, can I please just address this?
Go ahead. While you do that, go ahead. While you do that, let me quickly tell our guests or our viewers that they can go to the comment section below. Happy and myself have been putting up the links to STIs. Some of the rather information when it comes to STIs. I see there is www.cdc.gov /STD/health common or health com. that is a fact sheet that is going to give you all the 411 that you need when it comes to STI. It's called the STI fact sheet that is being done by CDC, or rather been provided by CDC. So if you wanna, get through the STIs and check out some of the common facts about them, you can go through that information. Also, I have shared a link that is by the Department of Health, www.health.gov. It is listing all the common STIs, or all the STIs that we have, from syphilis, that Mapaseka has touched on, to gonorrhea, that Mapaseka has also touched on, to many others like hepatitis B, to also touch on gonorrhea, also, chlamydia, all those STIs, you can find them there, to the point of infection, to treatment, to, the different stages, that because some STIs have stages. I mean, I did not know this, for instance, that in STI like syphilis has stages. So, they take you through some of those common STIs and some of the stages that they have, and also touch on treatment, which is quite important, and for you to know what kind of treatment you would then need to undertake if you have those STIs. But also interesting, I don't know if Mapaseka touched on some of the things that we have at Pop-In. It's a Z card that gives you the 411 when it comes to STI, which you can get as a goodie, as a treat when you popped in as a treat. It just comes in the affordable so to speak style that has all the information that you need, and then every side, every pop inside has these. But Sister Basi, you are back, and I was asking you there, about some of the common ways, perhaps maybe. Ooh, and she's gone. Well, I hope she returns. Some of the common ways that sexual intercourse, or STIs can be spread. She's back. What are some of the common sexual ways that these STIs can be spread? We only think that it is through penetration, where if it's either between anal and the penis, but there are some ways sexual that these STIs can be spread.
Yeah, most definitely.
The network is doing things. The network is bubbleized, and I think it's from both our sides.
Yeah, so we are correct. Primarily, it will be your vaginal and your anal sex, but also remember, oral sex can be a way of transmitting an STI, as well as the skin to skin. For instance, your syphilis and your herpes papilloma virus. So we need to I cannot say, sometimes it's so hard to even.
Okay, lost her again. But yes, okay, send through your questions. We are a bit challenged today on Kenka Monday because of the network, and I think it's mainly from her side. I hope that it will be sorted as we continue the conversation. But going back to those links that Happy and I have shared, is our technical producer, the behind the scenes, the brains. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if Sister Mapaseka is also back. Are you back? We are having challenges today with our network, and I think it's from both our sides. It's not only me. I think it's the Oram sides. I think we are having difficulties when it comes to ITC. I don't know if you've heard my previous question. But if you have, let's getting these STIs. We usually think that it is through penetration. It could be anal, or it could be vaginal, with it being okay. She's gone again. Mr. Technical Producer, I think at this point you need to advise, what do we need to do? Do we shut this a better network as we continue, or should we just conclude this here and see?
Don't you want to try and push it up to 30 minutes? Maybe it might work out. Yeah.
I think we need to do a pre-recording. I think we need to do a I don't know how we're going to do that. Do a pre-recording of this conversation. But yeah, mate, he's with the clinical mandate today from both our sides. From
no, the network is very bad.
Sister Pasi. I think we'll have to pre-record it and upload it on our social media platforms.
Yeah. Let's expect a pre-recorded version of today's clinical Monday later on the day with myself and Sister Mapaseka as we continue the conversation on STIs. You need to speak about treatment. You also need to speak about prevention and give you the tools there on how best you can manage STIs if you find yourself infected. But nonetheless, let's make sure that you pop in at all our sites to get yourself some goodies, including the Z card, which basically outlines all the STIs that you need to know, all the information that you need to know when having an STI. It covers from gonorrhea all the way to hepatitis B, and it will also give you the treatment there of what is in store when you need to treat them. But also visit the links that we've shared with you below in the comment section that touch on fact sheet when it comes to we are experiencing difficulty. I don't know if we should continue for the last bit because I think I have like 4 more questions to go. Or should do
all right. Because of the network V, I suggest we wrap it up. But the prime message to the community out there.
Okay,
from next week, it is our STI and condom week. So make sure you pop in for your screening.
Maybe take us down.
For condoms and lubricants. Get treatment. Bring your partners. We are open Monday to Friday, 8 o'clock to 4:30. Contact any of your nearest Oran Pocket site. I am Sister Mapaseka Mabena, wrapping up from Ekobuleni in Captain Park. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sister Pasi. We'll definitely make sure that we push the message for next week in terms of like STI and condom week, and we'll definitely encourage a lot of people to pop in, of course. And yeah, hope to see you in one of the activities next week.